Diageo, a global leader in the beverage alcohol, has partnered with international icon David Beckham and British entrepreneur Simon Fuller to launch HAIG Club single grain whisky in Malaysia. David Beckham, together with world-famous Malaysian designer Datuk Jimmy Choo, were at the launch held at the Majestic Hotel Kuala Lumpur on Wednesday.
Well, obviously everyone knows that I played football for 22 years, and over those years I had people come up to me and say, okay, we'd like you to be involved in our brand, and I never felt that it was the right thing for me to do as an athlete to go into the alcohol market yet. But obviously once I finished playing, Diageo contacted me and they said, you know, we have this idea, what do you think? So we sat down, we discussed every single element, every single part of my involvement. I told Diageo, okay, if we're going to do this, you know, what you have to know about me is when I'm involved in something, I'm involved in it 120%. I don't just give my name to something. I want to be there when we're tasting the liquid. I want to be there when we're discussing the colour of the bottle, the cap of the bottle, what goes on the bottle. So I'm in 120% on everything that I do. So they were obviously over the moon about that, and then they explained to us, okay, we have this single grain whisky, we have this family that have been around for 400 years. The history, the heritage that the HAIG family have got is really, truly incredible. One of the oldest distilleries in the whisky world. So, you know, when they told me about this, I was just really excited and honoured to be part of such a historical family. But obviously we wanted to bring something new into it, we wanted to add a twist to it, and obviously the single grain is relatively untouched, it's relatively new, and it's something that people are very excited about. I've never been a big drinker just because I'm a sportsman, or I was a sportsman, but I still consider myself to be a fit person. I've always looked after myself well. But it's also one of the other things that impressed me about Diageo. When they talked to me about this, they turned around to me and said, okay, after we've discussed the whisky, we have a real belief in responsible drinking. And when we started talking about this, you know, they turned around and said, you know, it's not about, you know, the quantity of alcohol that you consume. It is literally, you know, the quality.
Absolutely.
And it's savouring a drink, and that's one of the things that I was obviously very impressed with. So I've always liked whiskey, I've always wanted to be a whiskey drinker, but obviously the only time that I kind of sampled it was, it's a great memory of my granddad. My granddad used to come, we used to go and see my granddad every Christmas. We used to spend Christmases with them, and my granddad used to get out his dimple bottle, and he used to sit there, one glass, nobody else was allowed to touch it, nobody else was allowed to drink it. He let me smell it, but that was as far as it got, and he sat there very proud with his whiskey. So that was my kind of first introduction into the whiskey world. Well, with responsible drinking in mind, the tasting part was obviously a part that I enjoyed. But
Tasting responsibly, of course.
Tasting responsibly, of course. But that was something, not because it introduced me into the whiskey world, it was because I was learning so much about single grain and about other whiskies, and to be sat down with, you know, experts that have been doing this for many, many years, and to hear, you know, their kind of ideas on what makes a great whiskey, what doesn't make a great whiskey, that was something that really opened my eyes. But I'd say that part was something I enjoyed, but every kind of element of this has been great for me. Every element has been exciting, and it's just nice that there's been so much work gone into this from my team, from Diageo. You know, there's so much that has gone into this. It's actually nice now to be on a tour where we're kind of really celebrating the fact that it's out there now. That's the great thing about this single grain whisky. It's very versatile, and you know, you can have it in many different ways. You can have it straight up, you can have it on the rocks, and you can also have it in 3 or 4 great cocktails.
HAIG Club is a whisky crafted to appeal to people who are new to whisky and whisky connoisseurs, alike whilst being designed to be different. The unique flavours of the whisky itself are created by master blender Chris Clark, selecting whisky from refill American oak and rejuvenated cask, producing a stunning single grain Scotch whisky. Over 150 local whisky enthusiasts joined Beckham in a cocktail reception featuring cocktails made by local HAIG Club ambassador Rick Jor.